This is a very special webinar. And the reason why is because I feel like every single person in the United States needs to know about taxes. All right. And I think everybody in the United States, they really dread when tax season comes around, right? Because they got to give a lot of money, hard-earned money, to the government, right? And who knows where that money's going. So today, like I said, this is a very special webinar because we are going to basically discuss the 5 simple ways to win this tax season. All right. So my name is Kyle Redmond, and today we have the honor of collaborating with Tommy Thornburgh. Okay. He's the big dog president at Prime Corporate Service. And I believe, Tommy, the $1 million question. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
$1 million question is, how do you pay less on taxes this year? Right? It's very simple. So if you guys want to pay less on taxes this year, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat real quick. All right. I want to make sure everybody's alert, has high energy, is ready to learn and listen, because this is something you're going to apply to your life for the rest of your life. Okay. And to your business. So Tommy basically says it's not about how much you make. All right. It's how much you keep at the end of the day. Right? We want to make a bunch of money, but we want to keep it. We don't want to give it all to the government. And because every one of you have worked really hard this year and last year, we believe that you deserve a chance to keep as much as possible, right? So Tommy is basically going to deep dive into expert strategies on how to reduce your tax responsibilities. Okay. He's going to basically simplify the tax process. We all know it's not easy. Okay. And then we're going to deep dive into just the major key tax deductions that you should be aware of. Okay. I learned from Tommy last year, and it blew my mind, the amount of money I was leaving on the table that I could reduce in my LLC. Okay. So I want every single one of you, I'm going to say it again, take out a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper, create a doc on your computer or notes, and make sure you guys are taking notes today. Okay. But not only taking notes, applying what Tommy is going to teach you, because if you don't apply, guys, then why are you here at the first place? All right. So I'm pumped. And honestly, with further ado, I give to you, Tommy Thornburgh. What's up, Tommy?
I'm doing good. Thank you. The point that I like to make, and you said this so well, Kyle, it's like no one cares about your money more than you do. So it's not what you make, it's what you keep. My name's Tommy Thornburgh. I am the president here at Prime Corporate Services, and we've been in business for 10 years. We have helped structure over 100,000 businesses over the last 10 years. So we work with a ton of real estate investors, agents, online businesses, stock traders, crypto traders, network marketers, you name it. If you are self-employed and have a 1099 income, there's usually something we can do to benefit you as a business owner. And that's what I really like to drive home, is I am a firm believer that everyone in the US should be self-employed to some extent. Whether it's a side hustle, a side business, or full-time self-employment, there's over 70,000 pages of a tax code. And a lot of those tax codes are meant to benefit investors and entrepreneurs. If you have a W-2 day job, you're just throwing money away when it comes to taxes, right? The major difference between being self-employed and being employed is, think about it this way. When you have a W-2 job and you go to work, you exchange your time for money. They take money out of your check for taxes. You pay your bills, pay your expenses, and then hopefully have some money left over, right? So hopefully this presentation will help you understand a little bit better on how to do that as a whole. Before we do dive in, everyone's favorite part, legal disclaimer, you know we have to do it. We're talking taxes, right? We're talking financials. So everyone's situation is different. Hopefully I can give you the 30,000 foot view here today. So jumping into it here, informal business structures are for the birds, right? There's no reason to not have something in place. There's no tax code that says you have to be good at business. But there is a tax code that says you have to show the intent to generate income. Some of you are already making significant income. I know because we probably talked to you. And some of you are just getting started. That's okay. Starting with an LLC is beautiful because it gives you protection. It, in a lot of cases, gives you privacy depending on how you're set up, but it also opens the doors for a lot of these additional tax benefits that you don't get as an individual. I'm coming back to what I talked about on how to save thousands going to an S Corp. You have until March 15th to submit a 2553 form. And let me tell you, if you're the person that would want to do this, if in 2022 you made $50,000 to $100,000 or more by submitting that 2553 form and changing your tax election on your LLC, we can go all the way back to the beginning of the year last year, and you can file your taxes as if you're an S corporation. That's going to allow you to justify paying yourself a salary or a distribution, and it's also going to allow you to avoid half of your self-employment tax, which is Medicare and Social Security. That could save you 7 to 8% of the overall income, right? Think about that. All right, tax deductions. Let's talk about it. There are over 250 different deductible expenses. A lot of you are thinking about the expenses that were large. Have a system to track your expenses, right? Put those in an organizer or an Excel spreadsheet, QuickBooks. Use a tax app of some sort that you can maximize on your deductions with. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have heard me mention in the past, Keeper Tax is one of my favorites. Keeper Tax is a great resource. It's like $170 for the year. But what I love about it is it allows you to tie together your credit card, bank statements. And if Kyle and I were to go to lunch today, I would say, Tommy, was that business related?
Of course.
Of course, I just text back yes, and it tracks it for me. It's the coolest thing ever, right? Kyle, what other deductions? What am I missing? What are a couple things that come to mind for you?
Yeah, I think gas is a big one for everyone. So you can do the vehicle, obviously your mileage or gas. You know, for me, I drive an hour a day one way, right? So I go ahead and I write my gas off, and that's key. I think, yeah, cell phone, you hit that, computers, all the office supplies, everything that you guys are doing. Now, business meals are key. What's the percentage now that you can write off for business meals? Is it 50%?
Yeah, they're back to 50%. Unfortunately, it was 100% the last 2 years, but
home office, that's a good 50%. One.
Home office. Yeah, this on our Instagram, Prime Corporate Services, we actually posted a video yesterday. One of our head CPAs, Joel Jensen, he said, those of you that are in your home office, take an inventory of what's in your office, because you can write off portions of your rent and portions of your mortgage, but what else is around you that you can write off? I've got a laptop, iPad, lights, camera, microphone, right? There's a lot of the garbage can. There's a lot of things that are inventory wise in my office, a couch. I got one of these guitars that you have behind you as well. I got to show you one of these things. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of things that are around your office, let alone the space itself, that become deductible expenses. But home office is a great one to be able to deduct for sure.
And yeah, I think that's a good amount. You said what? There's 250 of them. And where can they find a list of those 250 at?
Yeah, there's over 250. Obviously, you're not going to qualify for all of them, right? Everyone's situation's a little different, but also even with the insurance, like I don't pay my insurance, my company does. I just happen to own my company, right? There's a lot of ways that you can pay yourself back. I utilize a section 105 of the tax code. What that says is I can reimburse my wife for medical expenses. Those of you that have health savings accounts, amazing opportunities for tax savings.
And the last one, before you get into the LLC, is education. Okay. Education is where I put most of my money into every single year. Because guys, if you don't know something, find a mentor that is doing it at the top level and squat up with them, pay them what they're worth and write it off. How hard is that? Each year you should be looking at yourself and your business and say, what do I need to learn this year in order to level up and get to that next level? All right. Then take that money and invest it and write it off.
That's really how Kyle and I have also just built a relationship over the years, is being at events together and understanding education and being in a lot of similar rooms, similar groups, and like-minded people of investors and entrepreneurs. So definitely a massive benefit when it comes to education. But here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to write those things off as education directly, because you're limited to $3,000 or they're going to ask you for an accredited university. We want to write those off as startup expenses, organizational organizational expenses, advisory expenses, because you're doing that to be a better credit to your profession as opposed to going to school for a degree. So make sure that you're tracking and organizing those expenses.
I've been there before when I first started my business. And what I had to do is print out every single one of my credit card like receipts, everything, guys, like line item from line item and my checking account. And I had to go through with a highlighter through hundreds of pages and basically line item every single thing that was a write-off. Okay. And that took a long time. So when Tommy says, keep it organized, keep it organized. Also, having a business account and doing everything through your business account is the key way to do that, right? Do it on your business account, credit card, keep it all organized there. Only have, your stuff that you're writing off and buying with your business card on there and not your personal costs. So
100%. Every LLC should have a separate bank account because one, you don't know when you're going to need it. Two, it's going to keep you a lot more organized from a profit and loss standpoint as well. As far as additional benefits are concerned, LLC stands for limited liability company. I think that we all know this, but some of us have the mentality that it's not going to happen to me. And it's a terrible mentality to have because a lot of successful people will tell you it's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. There's 40 million lawsuits that are filed every year. It's an average of 76 a minute, and a lot of them are real estate related. Breach of contract, slip and fall, premises liability. Why is that? Because real estate has created more millionaires in this country than any other business. Protect yourself, separate things out, and set your business up so that it's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. So these are all things that we help people with. Up top, we have a full estate plan: trust, will, living will, power of attorney. If you own real estate, you should probably have a living trust. The reason that I say that to you is I am actually a perfect example of pushing this down the road. I didn't set up my estate plan until my daughter was born, and I talked about it for 5 years prior. The easiest way to avoid probate is by having a living trust. Underneath that, we have a holding company or a parent company. Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming are additional privacy and protection states. We oftentimes lean towards Wyoming because they're all the same, but Wyoming saves you a little bit of money. So my holding company doesn't do any business. It simply owns my other businesses. Personal credit versus business credit. The more money you make and the better your personal credit is, the easier life is. The more money your business makes and the better your business credit is, the easier your problems are to solve in a lot of cases. Everyone has problems. Solve them with money and credit and then go deal with all the rest. I've got issues of my own, like I said, but when we're talking about credit, it is a massive value to any business. I don't care if you have $1 million in your checking account or $1 in your checking account. So let me break this down. Personally, everyone has a legal name, social security number, and ITIN, and a personal FICO credit score. Do the same thing for your business. Make sure you have the business name, which it sounds like a lot of you do. Give yourself that EIN, employer identification number, which is like the social for your business. And then build and develop this separate credit profile, which is your PAYDEX score. Ranges from 1 to 100 to credit profile for your business. So hopefully everyone took some value away and hopefully it protects you and saves you thousands of dollars in taxes. That's the goal.
You're the best, right?
Yeah.
You're the best. And that's the key, guys, is we only want to pair with the best. We only want to bring the best on here. And look, I can put my name on it. Batch can put their name on it. And these guys are going to help you at the end of the day. And we all want to save money, right? We all don't want to have to learn the laws of the taxes. We want to hire the people to do that so we can focus on our business, right? And then obviously making more money. So it all starts there. So I think, yeah, like this has been so educational and really appreciate having you on here.
John's got a really good question here. John says, I was able to purchase a holding company to start off with. Can I do some lending and wholesaling with the LLC to produce some income, or what do you recommend? John, absolutely. If that's what you have the resources for and that's where you're at currently, use it. Get some money coming in, right? I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm an investor and an entrepreneur myself. I want you to have protection. I know the importance of tax benefits, but I also know you're doing this to generate income. I want you to work at your pace. I want you to crawl before you walk and walk before you run, but I want you to understand the liabilities that you have throughout the process. So if that's what you need to do, John, to build up some cash flow, do it. Absolutely, you can make that happen.
What other questions we got out there? Does anybody else have any more questions?
What business entity is appropriate for wholesaling? I love LLCs for everything, to be honest. And the reason I say it is once you do that $50,000 to $100,000 a year in wholesaling, you can change it so it's taxed as an S corp and utilize and benefit from that self-employment tax. I think LLCs are a great way to start when it comes to wholesaling. And then as you generate more income, being able to switch that over to an S corp is a great solution to be able to take advantage of. Here's one thing that I want to just leave everyone with so we can wrap this up as well, because it ties directly with Edwin's question here. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's liability is different. I get asked all the time, how many houses should you put in one LLC? You ask 100 attorneys, you will get 100 different variations of that answer. I have some clients that'll put 10, 20, 30, hundreds of doors in one LLC. I have some clients that'll do a different LLC. How much equity do you have? How much money do you have? What's your risk tolerance, right? Everyone's situation is going to vary a little bit. So what is your risk tolerance? What is your equity? What is your situation? Schedule a call to speak with us so you can know where you are and what's best now. But that way you can also reach back out to your contact as you grow, as you scale, as you can continue to develop that way as well. And we'll get the show on the road for you.
Beautiful. So let's go ahead and do my famous question. If you were going to sum up today and leave one piece of advice behind for all the entrepreneurs that are out there, what words of advice would you give?
I think prioritizing what's important to your business is always key, right? When you're just getting started, you have a lot more time than when you're really generating good money. Where is your time best spent? Is your time best spent focusing on going and making more money, finding properties, driving for dollars? Or is your time best spent on understanding the tax code or handing that over to a professional? Prioritize what time is worth to you and prioritize how you can generate income long-term and allow professionals to file your taxes, to do the work that you don't want to do, so you can grow and scale at the pace that's going to keep up with where your vision wants you to go.
Beautiful. Well said. Well, thank you everyone that was on today. I know you guys are working hard out there. So with further ado, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. You're the man. Appreciate you. Prime Corporate Services. Go check them out, guys. Link is in the chat. And until next time, let's get it.